Welcome back, everybody, to the #1 racing show on the internet. That's making a storm through the internet that everybody cannot keep their eyes off. It is the Full Bean Show. My name is Ozzy.
I'm David.
I'm Frankie.
Yeah,
You always you were gonna skip Frankie.
No, I was gonna introduce him with he's the mastermind behind all this. He's the producer. You know.
I think we got to point out though, we're missing a cast member today.
Oh, you're right.
We're missing a cast member.
I wish you could be in here, but
we've had a lot of rain today.
It's been treacherous conditions.
Yeah, treacherous conditions. Driving all day, risking life and limb for you, the viewer.
It would put our lives in danger if we try to go get him. He's in a safe spot right now, and he's kind of in the in the environment he wants, you know.
Yeah, you know, we borrow him for a little bit.
I know he wants to be here really bad.
Yeah, he always wants to be here,
but needs to be in the danger zone.
Yeah, but he can't be here today.
Anyways, Planty is not here right now. He'll be here next time though. He'll be here next time, poking Ozzy in the ear.
Yeah, fucking asshole.
We're trying to come up with a good name for him.
Yeah, so if
anyone got suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, make sure you comment and make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure I think the Instagram's name is called Full Bean Show.
You made it.
Yeah, so that's why it's called Full Bean Show. So I knew that.
You said I think it's called.
Show.
Yeah, it's Full Bean Show. I remember it came back to me.
No,
right now. That light bulb right
there. If they go follow the wrong account, it's your fault.
Yeah, you'll see. It's the Full Bean Show.
All right.
Well, on today's show, we'll be bringing to you
Indy Explained.
What this lovely board says on here, and David's lovely handwriting says.
Don't tell him I wrote it.
Hey, it's nice. I gotta give credit when credit's due.
I mean, I don't think it's nice. So
it looks pretty good. Make sure you comment to tell him it looks nice.
I'm no calligrapher, that's for sure.
Hey, you're doing your best, and that's all we can appreciate here at Full Beans. Here, we care about everybody's feelings, and we try to make feel everybody.
Everyone's welcome. Everyone's included here.
So
no discrimination.
If it's shit, we'll tell you.
No discrimination, but if Frankie had his way, he would be discriminating.
Yeah.
Oh, you would, Frankie?
The shirt.
Maybe.
I'm saying the joke that our producer played on us this week.
Oh my God, Frankie, you got us. You fooled us.
Frankie got us. Frankie got us good. Frankie got us good, and we will be getting him back.
We'll be coming for you, Frankie.
You're gonna reprimand me for them not understanding it immediately.
It's because all right, and I do the same thing, and I agree with the way that you played this. Is that you committed to the bit, commit to the bit. And I mean, I do the same thing, but it's just, I don't know. I just felt like,
I think we should explain a little.
Yeah. So we're just minding our own business one day.
Yeah.
And Frankie sends out a picture in the group text. He's like, look, I just bought 2,500 of these T-shirts for us to sell.
For our lovely viewers.
Yeah. For you guys. And it said, it was a picture of like a racer, like a helmet. And it said certified racist, which if you have, there's a meme going around right now in like the race world about being like certified racist, but it's like race, like racer.
But it said certified, and I thought I was like missing something. Racist. I was like, Frankie,
Ozzy hadn't seen the meme.
Yeah, so I was like,
it was even more off-putting to him.
Exactly.
But like the meme was like had been like everywhere.
Yeah, so I had seen it a lot.
You guys should have seen it.
So it's fair game.
So we're good.
Yeah, well, I had seen it, but I thought like you were like, yeah, let's lean into that meme, and I was like, whoa, I don't know if that's the direction we want to lean in.
I don't know if we'd be labeled as racist.
Yeah, like at least not yet,
But like,
let us get canceled on our own,
for something stupid that we do, But he got us good on that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. There was a sidebar between Ozzy and I. I called him and I'm like, "Hey, dude, have you seen this? Have you seen this text, bro? Like, I like Frankie's initiative, but we're gonna have to tell him that we will not be putting these shirts anywhere with our names on it."
Oh
And then he got us, and then we were like, hey, we write this nice text, hey, Frankie, we like your initiative, blah, blah, blah.
Appreciate it.
Kissing his ass because we were going to tell him we're not using these shirts. And he's like, it was a joke. And we were like, damn. I mean, I was relieved because I was like, all right, well, Frankie's, he got us good.
Frankie was creating some drama there.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what else had drama in the beginning when it started?
I like these segues. Go.
IndyCar had its fair share of drama in the beginning. I don't know if a lot of people know, but IndyCar, when it was started, had different drama between different race leagues, and let me get to IndyCar is basically the pinnacle sport, but in the U.S. Or is that up to?
I mean, I disagree with
Mr.
If
David.
you tuned into the F1 Explained episode, this is a continuation of that.
Yeah. So it's one of the top racing sports.
We have F1 in the States, so
in the United States, as far as it being based in the U.S. But like I was saying, there was some drama in the beginning of IndyCar where it started. I believe the very first league was called USAC, and it was that name for a little while. I know it sounds a little weird, but that's what they called it. I think that's what it was called. USAC.
I know, but it's just funny when you say it.
What?
I know USAC, right?
All right, we'll move on.
USAC, my sack, he's
from his immaturity. So
we're called full beans. Come on, we can't take anything too serious here.
I can lose my train of thought, but
drama. Back to the drama.
Oh yeah, back to the drama. So it was basically called racing league, and then another racing league was formed called the kart series, and so there were 2 leagues at this time. They were going on. I believe the kart series started getting some real momentum, and it started going up as being the bigger league. And in 1985, then another league was introduced, but this time the older one, the USAC one.
85 or 95?
95.
Yeah, 95.
95. The USAC one got removed, and then came the IRL, Indy Racing League. And now we had 2 racing leagues, the kart
and Indy.
Kart and Indy.
Yeah. And
at this moment, I believe Indy started to get some more viewership. It started being a little more bigger, more serious league than kart. So what kart did in the 2000s was that they got rebranded to Champs, right?
Champ, I think.
Champ?
I think, yes, like Champ.
Yeah, and it traces back for when the cars used to be called Champ something. But it was called Champ.
Anyways, it was a mess.
Yeah, it was a big mess.
Couple leagues.
Yeah, there were 2 leagues. Now there's 2 leagues. And the problem with 2 leagues, you would think more is better, but in this case, it wasn't. It was actually worse because during Champs and Indy Racing League, since there was a divide, there was drivers that like some people liked on this league, and then some drivers that liked on this other league. So now the viewers had to pick between which to go. So they wouldn't go to both. They would just go to one or the other. So the viewership and the attendance started to drastically go down. So they were hurting themselves until finally they bought themselves.
And it feels so good.
They finally got bought. I believe Indy.
Well, they united.
Yeah, Indy Racing League bought Champs. I believe so. They bought them, and now we get what's here today, which is the NTT IndyCar Racing League. So it was off to a little rocky start with them. Well, I don't know rocky, but as far as like there was a little drama in between both of them. But now we have NTT Indy Racing, and it's growing. And we're hopefully to help IndyCar grow, as we said in our intro video. So make sure you watch that. With our
friend Zach Brown, we're trying to push it forward.
Exactly. We're trying to get our friend Zach Brown to really to help him out and make IndyCar bigger. And yeah, that's and as far as we were going to talk about a little about what IndyCar race weekend
what
looks
the
like.
weekend looks like.
Yeah, so
Similar to F1.
yeah, similar to F1 as far as it has Grand Prix, but it's IndyCar is based in the U.S., so it's held multiple Grand Prix throughout the U.S.
Yeah,
And on
they have
Fridays,
Canada races too.
oh, they do. They have a Canadian.
Yeah,
race?
they have Toronto. I think there might be more, but I know for sure they have Toronto.
Oh, okay. So it's good. They're little.
Yeah, I think. I mean,
Expanding
we
a
were
little.
talking. I think it would be interesting if they expanded into Mexico too.
Yeah.
I think it would be good because I mean they have a Mexican racer.
Racing
and,
is big in Mexico.
Racing's huge in Mexico.
So I feel like it would be a
like
success.
yeah, and so there's only one Grand Prix in Mexico City, and I feel like they're like Indy could easily go into like other big cities that even in Mexico City, but I think it'd be interesting if they went to other cities, other big cities, Guadalajara, Monterrey, where they have the capability to do hold events like this.
That. Yeah. So a weekend basically basically a weekend is Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Indy, we got good ideas.
So make sure you reach out.
Yeah.
Or we'll reach out. So make sure you read our DMs. Don't leave us on sent or seen.
They won't even see it. We won't even have that.
They're just
Not
gonna
even the
block us
scene
right
part?
now.
Yeah. What was it called? So it was called full beans ____ Z, right? That's what it was.
That's wrong.
No, so they don't block us.
Oh, I didn't get your gist.
Another joke going over your head.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I don't get jokes that well.
Anyways, let's get to the weekend.
Okay, so Friday consists of 2 practices, kind of very similar to F1, where they set up their cars, they get the driver comfortable to the track, make sure their car is suited for that track, because like in F1, they set up their cars for that track, but in IndyCar, sometimes they do more of a drastic change, like on the wings. If you notice for the Indy 500.
Well, that has to do with, and I think we forgot to mention this, that in F1, there's only 2 types of courses. There's a street course, and then there's like tracks.
Yeah.
But in Indy, we have 3 types of tracks. We have race tracks, street courses, and we have ovals.
Yeah.
And so you get drastic changes in the cars from a street track to an oval track.
Mm-hmm. So one example was going to be like in the Indy 500 during the oval, where they just want speed, pure speed.
And
they change their rear wing and it looks drastically different, and their front wing looks drastically different.
Yeah.
So you can notice that difference between that setup and then a street course car where it would be a little bit more different.
Yeah.
So they usually use like free practice to try like stuff out like that, and then Saturday comes day, and Saturday is a big day for the drivers that need to show up.
Saturday, I think you'd agree that it's the day that's most different from F1, that differs the most.
Yeah,
due to the qualifying format.
Exactly, it's not the exact same thing.
And I think
similar, but not the exact.
I think it's because like they have more cars.
I think so too.
And
I think they have more cars.
I guess it's it's not exactly like Formula E. Formula E has like a straight off playoff system.
It has like a mix kind of where they make. Well, should we explain what?
Yeah, I guess we'll explain it.
Yeah, so basically Saturday on qualifying, how qualifying works for IndyCar is that they have 2 rounds. Well, they have 3 rounds, but in round 1 there's 2 groups.
Yeah.
So there's usually, I think right now there's 26 drivers.
I think this is, I guess we can get into the details about this a little later when we're kind of talking about miscellaneous like characteristics of Indy. But you can there's some races have more cars than others. I guess we'll leave it at that. So
so you're saying that one race will have 22 drivers and another race will have 28 drivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll leave it at we'll say 24, 26 average.
So something to just look out for, like David said, some races will have a different quantity of drivers in there.
Yeah.
But basically,
they're broken up into groups in each round.
Yeah, 2 groups.
Yeah, even sized groups.
Mm-hmm. And in round 1, the top 6 are they qualify to the next round. So if you're in the top 6, you go to the next round for each group. So group 1, the top 6 go to round 2, and then group 2, the top 6 go to round 2.
As we've said, we are also kind of, learning about Indy and everything. So I don't know the answer to this question. I don't know if you know the answer to this question. But the 6 that get left out of each group, so that's 12. How are they? I don't know how they're placed on the grid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if they're. I would assume that they're based on their times.
Yeah, that makes the most logical sense.
I would assume that. I don't know. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, that makes the most logical sense. I didn't look that much into that part, but that makes the most sense.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we'll have to come back to that at some point.
Or if anybody knows, comment down below.
Yeah. Again, if you guys know, we're here to listen.
Or Zach Brown, if you want to come on here, you can
Zach Brown, you can come and explain everything, Zach Brown. You're invited. Open invitation, Zach.
Anytime, any place.
I mean, that's anyone, but Zach is like he's acting as a bridge. I feel like he's building a bridge.
Yeah, so it would be awesome to get his insight of how he made that decision to bridge Indy and F1 because no one's done that before.
Yeah, we've seen people jump from the sports, from the leagues, but nothing of a bridge. Anyways, so let's move on to round 2.
So yeah, round 2 is basically now the remaining 12 drivers, they set the fastest times in that time that they're given. And now these top 6 advance to the next round, which is the final round.
Which is commercial insert here.
It is.
The Firestone Fast 6.
Like I was saying before on the last IndyCar episode, I think the sponsors have a lot of power. And I mean, if they're bringing the money, I mean, I'm not blaming IndyCar, but they have a lot of power because I feel like you wouldn't see that kind of gimmick in
I don't know, but I mean, that's just American sports.
Oh, everything?
Well, yeah, because you got stadiums named after companies and I don't know. I feel like that's just American sports. I don't know if that's so much like that's
IndyCar.
Yeah.
You think that's just in general?
Yeah, obviously there's sponsorships everywhere in F1 too, but I guess they don't just name the things. Like their clock is Rolex. Like, the race clock is a Rolex, but they don't say it's the Rolex race clock.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's really any different than saying it because it's there. You see it.
Gotcha. Okay, I see that point of view. But yeah, in the final round, the top 6 now set the fastest lap, and then that determines the order within those top 6. And this is when you try to go full beans and get that pole position, because in IndyCar, pole position is really important because of all the cars are very similar. The pole position, you're able to keep that pole position.
Yeah, the cars, as you said, the cars are almost basically the same.
Exactly.
In terms of all the parts. The only thing that you can mess with is like all the parts are the same. It's just how you set up the car, essentially.
Yeah. So basically, IndyCar is like you buy into that sport.
Yeah.
Where
different.
F1, we can talk about this in the other episode where F1, the difference
I guess we were planning on doing a F1 versus Indy. So I guess we can kind of get into those details then.
Yeah, but what I was just going to mention real quick is F1 is like a development sport where you develop your own car from scratch and everything. IndyCar is a buy-in sport.
Which, at least for me, is a point for Indy.
It is.
I believe.
Point. I think that's a big point.
Yeah, I think we agree in this where at this point F1 has gotten to the point where it might be a little boring because the car it's the car. We've seen this time in and time again where a racer moves teams from one team to another in the next year, and they're either really you're like they're way better or they're worse.
So you're saying that the car has a big influence on how well the driver does throughout the season and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In which, like you said, we've seen drivers gone from a really shitty car to a really good car in a matter of a weekend.
Yeah, we've seen this. We've seen this in a very specific example a few years ago. George Russell moving from the worst car on the grid, the Williams, to arguably the best car on the grid, to a Mercedes, and almost winning a race.
Exactly.
So yeah, you see this
conspiracy stuff going out in that garage, like we've said before.
Yeah, but that was before. That was. I mean, that was.
I don't know.
But that weekend there wasn't. I don't think there was anything weird that weekend.
I think there was.
All right. I guess we can. I guess on an episode where we talk about old races, we'll get into that.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good episode. Yeah. Conspiracy theories in F1.
There's a lot of scandals.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
There are a lot of scandals in F1.
Yeah, there is.
As far as cheating,
spies.
Yeah, spies, and that are swept under the rug and that are big scandals.
Yeah, I guess we can get to that later.
But yeah, we can do
back to Indy. Okay,
all right.
Again, as we were saying, point to Indy for having it based a series based on the driver's talent rather than of course the setup also matters and everything, but it's
basically the same car with just a little bit of changes in the setup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So your reliability should be, relatively the same between cars and everything. You're not going to have a team like Ferrari, for instance, lately that has been just horribly unreliable, so you're not going to see, I don't think you would see it as prevalent in IndyCar.
In IndyCar, yeah. So yeah, that's basically Saturday qualifying. There's 3 rounds.
A little note about qualifying really quick is I feel like they need a kind of, I guess the format, I don't know, maybe it's a good format, but the time that is allowed, like people can, there's penalties if you cause like a red flag, which I like in F1, there's no penalty. You cause a red flag and everyone gets screwed. You stay in that time. And Indy.
You like that?
I like that there's a penalty for a red flag. If you cause a red flag. There's a penalty. Oh, okay. I like that there's a penalty for red flag. If you cause a red flag, I think your top 2 fastest laps are deleted.
Okay. Which is good because your actions should have consequences.
Exactly. We've seen where racers there's conspiracies another episode where people will cause red flags on purpose in qualifying in F1 because it's to their advantage, and in Indy it's not. You get heavily penalized.
You make a good point there.
I think it's good.
I think that's something that's not been it's been talked about but not really been emphasized a lot on.
Yeah. So I think that there's definitely some interesting aspects of the Indy qualifying.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's basically Saturday, the qualifying day, and then Sunday comes day, and that's race day, which is the day if you want to have a good day, that's the day you want to have a good day.
Yeah, that's the day you want luck on your side.
Yeah, you don't want to be having to go to the bathroom anytime soon. You don't want to be going to having a headache or having girlfriend problems.
Racers will push through, but
Yeah, but imagine you're not feeling that well, and then you're fighting against a guy that is feeling 100% ready to conquer the world. It's gonna be a tough day.
It's tough, and like we were saying, since the cars are super similar, it's not like you can be like, okay, I can rely on the car today. It's gonna carry me a
little easy.
Yeah,
right?
You're like, okay, I know I have a better car, so it's up to the car. No, and race day, like since these cars are super similar, it's you. You gotta, the racers got to show up.
So so there's a little difference between F1, but I'll just explain. IndyCar, they start with the formation lap. Formation lap is then ended with not a standing start, but a rolling
F1
start.
And standing start, which means the racers line up on a grid, and the lights count down, to green or whatever in F1, and they go. In Indy, we have a rolling start, and that just means that the cars are already in motion when the green flag is waved.
Exactly. And sometimes to note on an IndyCar rolling start, I'm not sure who's like the referee of the racing, not the FIA in Indy, but the equivalent in IndyCar.
Yeah.
If he sees that the pack isn't compact and they're not in good formation, he will waive another formation lap to be given for them to get into good formation and for them to go off. You see this kind of, it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon, but it's relatively common to happen. So they'll lose one lap in the race for that.
Oh yeah, the pack not being bunched up.
Yeah. So that's something to note while they were going, because I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, what the heck, what's going on? So they had to go around.
F1, there's some rolling restarts from red flags, but it's rare.
Yeah, it's rare.
I think we've seen it maybe once recently.
Do you like standing starts or rolling starts?
So I think standing starts are more entertaining, But I think rolling starts are safer.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're safer.
They're safer as far as like what, like a driver not getting rear end from the back or something like that?
Yeah, because you're already all moving, so you have, I think, more time to react. And
gotcha.
if you start and the guy in front of you from a standing start, if like three cars in a row move, like they start, but then that fourth car in front of them is stalled for whatever reason, that third car in that row has very little time because the first car that's right behind him sees he stalled, he can get out of the way quick. That second one, he can see, okay, maybe, but I think like that third, fourth car, like it's harder for them to see that car, that stalled car.
And then when they see it's too late.
Yeah, they see it, they hit it.
Yeah.
So I think, I think, as my opinion,
they have their pros and cons.
I mean, I think a rolling start is kind of boring.
A rolling start?
Yeah, I think it's kind of boring.
See, I was thinking the same thing, but like we saw the last race. That was
the last
crazy.
race. I mean, but the last race was a good race.
Maybe it was hopefully it wasn't a fluke.
As we said, it was the most. It was the of the two races of the Indy and F1 race. It was the one that was more entertaining. So yeah,
that's based the start with.
Yeah, that's the start.
That's the start. With starts with the rolling start. A green flag is waved. Usually here, like on the radio message, like green, 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 green.
You forgot one of the keys of the weekend.
What was that?
When they start. When they start their engines, there's always a ceremony.
Really? Yeah,
there's always a ceremony. There's always someone start your engines.
Yeah, that kind of classic.
It feels good, you know. It's like almost cartoony, you know, like movie beginning. I like it.
Do they have usually? Is it usually the same guy or?
No, I think sometimes I think it depends. Yeah, it depends on the guest. I think it's kind of like F1 and the checkered flag.
We need to do we're gonna do another video.
No, we should just have clips of bad checkered flag waivers in F1.
You would think it would be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but there's I don't understand.
I guess there's some skill for it.
Yeah, I mean, but it's funny because we've seen a really old guy do it and he was bad. So you think maybe it's because he's old. And then we see one of the fittest girls on the planet also doing a bad job. So so I don't know if it's we see Appleseed, we see one of the greatest tennis players of all time going at it.
And you would think that she holds one of the greatest tennis players of all time, like you said. You would think she would be good at holding
like a stick, you know, waving it. Like, I don't know.
He's got the arms for it.
That's what I'm saying. So you see Tom Cook. What's his name? Tim Cook.
Yeah.
You see him waving it. And it looks like a decrepit old man. Like, can't even move. And you're like, okay, he's old. We'll give him a break. And then you see Serena also just like barely waving it.
Like, doesn't even know what to do.
Yeah, it was.
But
anyways,
we'll have a top 10 worst.
Yeah, we will have the worst. If anyone has, remembers a bad one, let us know. We'll throw that clip in. Where are we at?
So
start your engines race, qualifying.
So basically, there's.
I guess the points.
Yeah, what I was gonna mention real quick is because you see this a lot in IndyCar. You see a lot of cautions. Caution is kind of the equivalent to like a safety flag in Indy. I mean in F1. But I just wanted to note that you'll see like some cautions being waived in IndyCar because there's a big crash or.
I guess as we did in the F1 episode. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah.
So we're talking about we can get more into the technicalities of each rule and break down certain situations as we come across them because it's kind of pointless to just talk about these situations without having a recent example of it.
It'll be way easier to explain with a recent example.
Yeah.
So the point system now is
very different from F1. You can finish a race and get points, which is kind of funny.
So you get
you don't have to finish a race to get points.
Yeah, so you just get a race for showing up, finishing the race.
Yeah, you get a participation point at least.
At least some AYSO stuff.
Yeah, you get like 5 points.
Yeah, you get 5 points.
Yeah, you get at least 5 points for showing up, finishing the race.
Yeah, so first place gets 50 points, that's a lot of points.
It's a lot, but we discussed this the other day. Second place is 40, so it's 10 points. So that's kind of a lot. But we were discussing the other day that we think that, I guess, because it's not like a linear scale, right, on F1 points, nor is it a linear scale here, where we think some of these scales need to be adjusted.
They need to be revised or looked at
Yeah,
again?
because we were saying that the F1 scale is a little wonky. Same, I guess, with here. Is that first place? Yeah, okay. First place, you have a lot of points. You won the race.
Yeah, it's a great achievement.
Yeah,
You're
that's
first,
good.
you
You're
know?
first. You won. That's good. But then I feel like from second to third and fourth and fifth, those points should be closer together.
More condensed.
Yeah, more because it's like, yeah, okay, you were second, you were third. Maybe podium gets like a bracket of points, and then there's like a little jump to fourth. But from fourth, like there on, it's like it should be less of a difference, you know? Because it's like you could finish fourth every single race,
Yep.
and then you finish first like in one race.
That's good.
Fifth in like the rest of the races. And then I guess it depends on what you want to reward. Do you want to reward consistency in fourth place? Or do you want to reward, well, this guy's not that good, but he did win in one race? So I don't know. I guess it depends on what you want to reward in that aspect.
To piggyback off what you said right now, the point system, like you said, like you could be having a very consistent season and kind of not win a race, and you'll be champion.
Yeah, exactly.
You will be champion, you know? So I think you're right. It should be revised and looked at. There are different ways besides the
You know, it'd
grid
be
spot
interesting
that you
if
finish.
there's not a points for here, but you know, it would be interesting if at the end of the race, the person who won the most races gets like X amount of points.
Who finishes what?
Who wins the most amount of races?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know,
At
that'd
the
be
end.
kind of cool at the end. Like I don't know, when
Like
you play
10
Mario
points,
Party, you know, when you play Mario Party, you get like those bonus stars at the end, you know, you traveled the most on the board and things like that. Like little bonus points like that.
You got the most like messed up. You got like all the Bowser.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
deducting points that
Yeah.
you're saying.
Oh,
you're
that'd be
saying if
interesting too. The most
Yeah,
red flags,
right,
deduct,
remote-
like most person that like got penalized the most,
Yeah,
you get negative points. I mean, that would be interesting.
yeah. Then that becomes like a whole strategy.
That's
and
what I'm
it's
saying.
being
You're like,
a whole
okay, I
season.
gotta make sure. Yeah, because say like, you know, you're racing like we saw this weekend, and McLaughlin goes into, I mean, well, at least my opinion is, I mean, he came out and apologized, so I'm gonna say, yeah. He takes Grosjean out. It's like, okay, you're not only out for that race, but now you put a record. You know, you get a strike on the record, and at the end of the season they add those up. And like, okay, you were the one that penalized the most or whatever, and it's like, all right, boom.
Yeah, because what if you're just causing havoc out there?
I'm telling you, Indy, like we got good ideas. We got good ideas here.
Yeah, so
Here at Full
way more
Beans.
than what you've heard right now.
so make sure you guys share this to Indy so they can
Yeah.
watch our videos so they can hear us out, and not just us, you guys too. So make sure you comment down below. There's also points for not just finishing in your grid spot, that the place you finished in the race. You also get points if you get, like we were talking
So
before,
here
on our F1
on the F1 one, although I don't think it's enough still, but at least they're doing something. And if you watch the F1 episode where we discussed in F1, you don't get points for qualifying. Here, you get 1 point for pole position, which again, I don't know why they don't put more emphasis on qualification because it's an important day, but at least you get something here.
Yeah, you get something. And then you also get a point for leading at least one lap
Yeah.
of the race, right?
Yeah.
So you could be dead last, somehow get up to first, lead one lap, get 1 point, and then go all the way down last,
You know,
and you'll get 1 point.
I wonder how that works with pit rotations.
Oh, you're right.
I wonder if the last person stays out, doesn't pit, everyone else pits. They're technically in first, right? But
They're-
you know they're not going to be in first
hmm
because they have to come in and pit.
I think you make a good point there.
I wonder how that works.
I believe they'll get the point.
I would give it to him. I'd give it to him.
Imagine the whole grid. They just get together and they're like, okay, everybody's gonna lead one lap, so everybody gets 1
Everyone
point.
gets
and
1
then
point.
everybody
So that's some ASO stuff right there.
So the last way you can get a point is if you
See, but this is kind of what we're talking about. The most laps led gets 2 points. So at the end of the race, the person who led the most laps gets a point. That's kind of what we're saying with
I
the
think
other
that's
stuff.
a good one that there's not talked about a lot.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They already have that kind of mindset of, okay, the cumulative person who has the most laps at the end gets 2 points. Well, it's the same concept, but just on a bigger scale, what we're saying. It's the person that has won the most races gets, 1 2 points, but it gets points.
I think what I like about that is to emphasize is it being first, because being first in any race. I mean, I'm not a racing driver, but I've done a few little racing on the sim on F1.
We're a couple sim races under our belts.
And when you're first, there's more pressure on you.
Yeah, you get chased down.
You're getting chased down. Then you being the chasing. When you're chasing,
the chaser, you're feeling it.
You're exactly. You feel like you could catch them.
Yeah.
And when you're being chased, you feel like slower mistakes.
It's cat and mouse, the classic cat and mouse.
Exactly. Mistakes.
Would you rather be a cat or a mouse?
I think I would rather be a cat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But here, you're not rewarded for being a cat.
True.
You're rewarded for being the mouse.
There's like that. So Indy is making a good point right here.
Yeah, the mouse points right there.
They should change it to mouse points.
Yeah, we're gonna be calling it mouse points.
Mouse points. But I think they maybe they realize that with being first is being is hard
tough.
because it's tough to be in holding.
And then I
that
think
pressure.
also it plays into to strategy. Do I want to maybe I stay out an extra lap on these tires that are done if I get an extra point because I'm second. Leader pits. Normally you come in maybe the next time that you're around the pit, so you don't lead a lap. So maybe you go, okay, I'm gonna stay out one more lap to just get that point. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think it magnifies your decision making now, where you're kind of second. Should be like if you think you're set on a decision, now you're kind of like, oh. Let's just double check to make sure that's the way we want to go.
And what's kind of interesting is that I think like this, and this is where I think it's another, at least for my personal like preference, it's another point for Indy in that, okay, the cars are the same. So what do they do? They make the points. Like you can get points here, you can lose points here. Like, so then it goes into more like strategy. More, okay, because in F1, it's like, what's your strategy goal? Okay, my strategy goal is to be in front. You're not so much like, okay, do I want to be in front or do I want to get these points? I mean, like you think, I think there's more strategy involved with how you can play that game, how you can play this game.
Yeah, exactly. There's way more strategy involved in IndyCar. It seems as far as what we can see. But if there's an IndyCar specialist strategist that
if you happen to be listening,
make sure you DM us and get us. Send us a message
we'll get you on the show somehow.
Yeah, we'll get you on the show. And make sure you follow us on Instagram, Full Bean Show, to get any racing updates and stuff like that. That's what it's called.
All right. Let's go with that.
I have everything here in my head. So that's basically, what an Indy weekend looks like.
Okay, well, that's the point system for a normal weekend.
Okay.
I think you looked this up. But there's some special scenarios in Indy, like the Indy 500.
Yeah, the Indy 500 is totally.
Yeah, so the Indy 500 is its own
thing.
It's its own thing. But there's also, not only on the Indy 500, there's also races where racers will opt out of the race, where more racers will be added, and sometimes there's a specific situation where the same car is taken, because normally when they do that, it's a different car when they add racers. There's some times where one racer will come into someone else's car.
Okay. So you're saying there's two scenarios right here that you're describing.
Yeah.
There's one where there's a new driver and he brings his own new car.
Yeah.
And then there's another scenario where it's the same car that the driver was driving, but there's a new driver that's
exactly. So if his car is car number 5, that's his car, but then someone else will come in and drive under car number 5.
Gotcha.
Which is weird.
Yeah. And this can happen at any other race?
It can happen, I think, in any other race. I think there's like a specific scenario with, I think, Connor Daly and Ed Carpenter, I want to say. I don't remember the other guy. But Indy's kind of weird in the sense where we don't have the same drivers in every race, and it fluctuates like a good amount. Where some racers, like we said, we have oval tracks, and so on an oval track, as we were saying, they only focus on speed and they kind of like throw away all the downforce. So some racers don't like that. They feel too like, okay, that's too on the edge. I'm going to go flying. And so some racers opt out of oval tracks. And then some racers get added into some races because they just, I don't know, they like that race. Or like we said, the Indy 500 is the one where we see this the most.
Yeah.
Because it's like so historic and, you know, everyone wants to win the Indy 500.
Don't be surprised if you see it in other races.
Yeah, it's not the most common thing in other races, but it is a thing that happens in other races.
Yeah, it is a thing you'll notice and you'll be kind of confused, like who's this new
Yeah,
guy
so
and
like
stuff.
McLaren has 4 cars registered this season, but we've only seen 3, and only 3 will race for the majority of the time.
Gotcha.
So they have Pato Award, Rosenquist, and they have Alexander Rossi.
Yeah.
But they also have, I think his first name is Timothy Khan. And he's Frankie's messing with the boards over here. I don't know what he's doing.
Frankie, what are you doing over there?
He looks like he's playing the freaking piano over there.
I'm sure the audio levels are good.
Yeah, but he just looks like he's DJing a party or something. Anyways, there's some teams that have other drivers that are just not participating yet. Like they're just gonna participate in certain races,
In those special races.
Yeah, so
for whatever XY reason they want.
whatever reason, and it's kind of interesting that they fluctuate so much.
So I think one clear example would be like Fernando Alonso when he competed in the Indy 500.
Yeah, Fernando Alonso has competed. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
I know Maldonado, right?
Which Maldonado? Pastor?
The one that was
Pastor
in F1.
Maldonado?
Yeah, I think the one that was in F1.
Yeah, I think. But didn't he race in Indy?
Did he also race in Indy?
I thought he had a seat for a season. I could be wrong. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, so we're still new, so don't quote us on anything.
I think, and really quick, this is miscellaneous information. I think Raikkonen is racing in some NASCAR race this year.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So if you like Kimi Räikkönen and his radio calls are funny too.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. But basically, yeah, that's a IndyCar format. We have Friday practice, Saturday practice as well, and qualifying later in the day. Sunday is the race, and the point system is very different than F1.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's kind of it. Wrapping up for Indy.
Yeah, I think that's a good summary as far as like just a generic of way of how IndyCar works. As we'll just give examples as far as the season goes on that we can emphasize more that certain scenarios happen and stuff like that. But as far as on my end,
I think that kind of wraps up our Indy Explained episode. I don't know, Frankie over there playing piano on the boards. I don't know if he
has any more input.
Yeah,
I feel like we all got the gist of Indy, but just like with F1, we'll go ahead and like sprinkle in some more information along with examples, so it can be more clear what we're explaining about Indy.
Yeah.
So we can go and explain more a little bit later, but I think we all got the gist of it.
All right.
Yeah. So thank you for watching this video.
This
Make
has been
sure
Full Beans.
You like and subscribe and comment, and we're gonna be at some IndyCar races, so keep out an eye out for us. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, signing off.
Signing out.
Full Beans.
Full beans ahead.